So my situation was unique because my first unit was purchased right before COVID hit. So I purchased my first unit in November 2019. COVID hit, and in my situation, my business doubled. We were an essential business, and because of that struggle, what came out of it was actually, for me, an ability to grow into 2 and 3 due to the increased revenue from COVID. So once I did really, really well at my first location in 2020, purchased my second 2 end of 2020. So within 2 years, I was up to 3. After that, it's been a little bit more of an organic process, but just got approved for my 5th, and I'm, looking for spots now for that. So very exciting.
Great. So we moved to Durham, North Carolina, and opened our first franchise there in 2004. I had just gotten married, so it was kind of a big adventure in both life in general. 23 years old and getting married and starting a new business all at the same time was super scary. But from there, we've added other locations. We've bought and sold some locations in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and added Atlanta, and done some consulting in Houston, Texas for other 2-minute truck locations, and really just kind of love what I do still.
So my path is probably a little unique. I've never built a location. So I bought the Peoria, Arizona spa in early 2019, and then a second location came available 3 months later, and I bought 2, and I drowned for a year like we all do with new businesses, right, working 100 hours a week. But 2020 was going to be awesome, and the little thing called a pandemic hit. At the time, there were some California spas that were struggling, and Handstone took a lot of faith in me, like, Jeff, can you buy these spas and turn around like you did Peoria? And so we did. So we leaned into a lot of risk. We went from 2 to 7 spas in the middle of the pandemic into 2 states, which I don't know how we did it. And then one thing led to another. We continued to add acquisitions over the years to our current footprint of 17 spas. The biggest impact for us is, first and foremost, the ability and availability of massage therapists, right? The second one is our ability to attract lead generation to drive traffic to our business, right? So there's lots of things changing. AI, I think, is going to change the way things are searched. And so we need to get ahead of that. That's one of the things that we're concerned about. We need to really think more about that strategically as a brand, and how we're going to tackle that and focus more on the websites and how we're going to get the content to rise up in the search settings for AI as it goes that way, because that's going to be a big change, I think.
The biggest impact on my business today is the changing habits of our customers. So whether it's online shopping, whether it's the way shipping is changing over the years has been, over the last 5 years, that industry has completely changed. So for me, it's watching the habits of customers and how that affects our business. It's also keeping an eye out on our competition, and trying to constantly measure up, keep up with technology, keep up with efficiency, keep our customer service better than the other guy. Because ultimately, if you keep up your customer service better than the other guy, the people are going to constantly come to you. That's really important to us, and it's a big challenge.
I think the biggest impact to not just my business, but as an industry, franchising industry as a whole, is consumer change. And I think that's influenced by economy, so it's kind of a snowball effect. It's not just an easy answer. I think consumer change or consumer behavior is changing. It's influenced by uncertainty in the economy and politics, and that impacts our business every single day. And it's a challenge. It's a different kind of challenge, but it's a challenge.